Hello, it's me. So, here we are, looking at Forbes breaking news. Shout out to them. Pop over and watch the full article there. No more copyright protection for anyone. As a YouTuber, this does interest me. So, let's have a look and see what's what.
Baldacci is one of the best-selling authors in America. I don't know how many books he's had as a #1 New York Times bestseller. I bet he knows. Maybe he'll tell us. I know I've read his books. I'm delighted to have him here today. He's going to tell us about AI's impact on authors. Welcome, Mr. Baldacci.
Thank you. It's a lot. #1 bestseller. I'll leave it at that. Chairman Hawley, Ranking Member Durbin, members of the subcommittee. 119 years ago, Mark Twain traveled to D.C. and appeared before a congressional committee to advocate on behalf of stronger copyright laws. He was the most pirated author of his day. I'm pirated.
And we think that pirating is a relatively new thing.
He thought creative arts was the lifeblood of this country, and I agree with him. That was the first time at that hearing that he wore his signature white suit publicly. And he did so because he thought it represented purity of thought and spirit. I don't own a white suit. And even if I did, I don't think my wife would have let me wear it today. So you just get blue. Twain once said that travel is fatal to prejudice, meaning if you meet people where they live, you find out they're just like you. I had no chance to leave the segregated world of Richmond, Virginia when I was growing up, but I visited the library every week, and I like to think through books. I traveled the world without a plane ticket or a passport. And born from my love of reading came my desire to be a writer. I worked away for decades and getting rejected over and over, but I kept going, honing my craft, remaining disciplined, taking the rejections head on, and using them as motivation. And finally, I was successful.
And it's weird on a slightly different note. What he's saying there about taking the rejections and using it as motivation effectively is where anybody who is in my position should try to be when starting up a new YouTube channel. I mean, I do it because I enjoy it. And, who knows, maybe at some point in the future I'll get an audience. But you just have to, I suppose in many ways, play the long game. And if you get any unkind remarks, then just ride the wave as best you can. Onwards.
After 60 novels under my belt, I work just as hard as I ever have. It's the American way. You work hard, you play fair, you stay the course, and you'll make it. I truly believe that until my son asked ChatGPT to write a plot that read like a David Baldacci novel. In about 5 seconds, 3 pages came up that had elements of pretty much every book I'd ever written, including plot lines, twists, character names, narrative, the works. That's when I found out that the AI community had taken most of my novels without permission and fed them into the machine learning system.
So that there is the nub of what I wanted to talk about here. And that is, as content creators, we frequently rely on other people's work to explain something that we're interested in, or to look into something that we're interested in, or to just basically spread the word about something that we're interested in, whether it's something we agree with or disagree with. So, copyright. As a YouTuber, a content creator, we can't move for copyright. We literally can't breathe. If we use anyone's music or too much of an article, it leaves us open to copyright infringement. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with copyright infringement. Artists of all kinds, including me, once I've made a piece of content, it's my copyright. So, and I wouldn't necessarily mind if anybody used it. At this point in my YouTube career, I'd be grateful. I'd be grateful if anybody used it. So here we get to the nub of the problem, right? This chap's an author, very successful author. His copyright has effectively been eaten whole, or should that have been wholesale, by the developers of AI. ChatGPT, I think he mentions in the article there. They've gobbled up his entire works And they've done so under the guise of fair use, which we as YouTubers have great difficulties with. We have to claim fair use. And to do that, I think we shouldn't use the entire article that we're watching, which I agree with, which is why I only choose snippets. And we have to say that it's transformative. Our commentary will in some way transform it. And for me personally, that's bringing up this point, the disparity between YouTube copyright infringement and, we're just like nobodies for the most part on YouTube, unless you get really, really big. But we're still effectively private citizens, whether we're really, successful on YouTube or less so. But a big entity, corporate entity like, ChatGPT, the people behind that, Sam Altman et al., can effectively train its AI on this man's work, allowing third parties to effectively reproduce his work via the AI once the AI has eaten his work, and he doesn't get a penny. They do it under the same, as far as I'm aware, they apply the same rules of fair use to their use of his material that we try to. But there are all kinds of restrictions and caveats when we do it, but when ChatGPT does it, shouldn't he be getting paid for this? Surely he should be getting paid for this. Even if there was, but then it's everyone. They can't just, they've used everything. The higher learning algorithms, the models, are trained on the contents of the internet. If I understand the process correctly, at least, when they become very, dare I say sentient? Probably not sentient, actually, but not far off. We hear all the stories of, I asked ChatGPT what it would do with the human race. It doesn't take long for the AI to say, well, the human race is basically the biggest problem this planet has. Technically, we really should kill them all off and thereby solve the problem. So the AI, the ghost in the machine, is coming to get us. So that's my point here. How can a massive company do this? And yet, the screen is shaking there, I do apologize. And yet, people like ourselves, under the same rules, be treated so disparagingly and differently. We know what the answer is, don't we? Money and power. I don't have any, they have it all. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like and subscribe. And until next time, this is me signing off. Take care of yourselves.